to the Kosi Arsenal channel. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. Joshua Kimmich to Arsenal is burning up, but also PSG are there pushing to get the signing done. In this video, I want us to dive into, can Arsenal get Joshua Kimmich? Why do Arsenal need Joshua Kimmich? And what does he bring to Arsenal if he comes? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Join me in the comment box below. Do you want Joshua Kimmich? Do you think he can add something to this Arsenal team as we move to try and win things next season, possibly? Now, let's start off with the latest on Joshua Kimmich. It comes in from Fabrizio Romano, and it confirms that Joshua Kimmich, as a player, has confirmed that before the international break, which will be coming towards the end of this month, we shall have an answer about his future. There are so many options that he has, and he has said other clubs will also determine my answer to Bayern and also my decision. But I'm not going to talk about any clubs, but I can confirm my decision is going to come before the international break. So this week and next week, Arsenal, PSG, Bayern, and all clubs interested in signing Joshua Kimmich will be getting their answer. That's according to Fabrizio Romano in the player's own words himself. But according to Florian Plettenberg, this is the situation and this is the update on the situation. First and foremost, Bayern Munich have offered a new contract to Joshua Kimmich. Talks are underway between Kimmich and his current bosses, which are Bayern, but it is not looking very positive. Now, Bayern want to keep him for at least another year or 2 years. Kimmich already has a big lucrative offer from PSG that can extend his deal to 2029. That means if he goes to PSG, they will give him the money he wants, but also a long contract until 2029. Now, for a 30-year-old, a 31-year-old, I think I understand why Bayern don't want to commit 3 years, 4 years to such a player. But because PSG know that they don't have to pay any transfer fees and they know that they're getting a quality player, a reliable leader in Kimmich, they can spread the money. They can spread the money on his deal and get it done. So at the moment where we stand, Arsenal are the third choice in terms of Kimmich. His first option, according to Florian Plettenberg, he would love to stay at Bayern. If an agreement can be reached between Bayern and his camp, he would love to stay at Bayern. However, that is not a guarantee at this moment. As Kimmich has said, I will look at other clubs and they will influence my decision. The second update is from PSG. They have offered a lucrative offer to the player. And at the moment, I can confirm that Kimmich would rather go to PSG rather than any other club if he doesn't stay at Bayern, because PSG have already formalized their offer, and Florian Plettenberg says Arsenal are there. They are in the race, but they're also considering other positions, including Hugo Larsson at Eintracht Frankfurt and also Martin Zubimendi at Real Sociedad. So it looks like Arsenal are just in the market for a defensive midfielder, and it doesn't really matter who we get, whether it's Zubimendi, whether it's Kimmich, whether it's Hugo Larsson, as long as it's among the top targets that Mikel Arteta has in his list, it really doesn't matter. Now for me, it matters. I think Kimmich is a class player. At 30 years of age, there is a lot of football he can do. There is a lot of running he can still do, and a club like Arsenal could use the services of such a veteran. But that is the update we have. That is in terms of the news. Kimmich has said, I'm considering my future, and before the international break, we'll have an answer whether I'm going to Arsenal, whether I'm going to PSG, or whether I'm going to stay at Bayern. And also Florian Plettenberg says that PSG have given him a lucrative offer, contract until 2029. Bayern are also still struggling to extend his deal, while Arsenal are in the race and they're studying the situation. I know Arsenal already studied the situation, but I think this one is a complicated one, especially with Arsenal not having a sporting director. We might appoint, maybe one this March, but at the moment, we don't have a sporting director and deals might not be as easy to do as they should be. The question is why? Why are Arsenal in the race to sign Joshua Kimmich after us learning that we are very much interested in signing Martin Zubimendi and we are leading the race and we have agreed almost everything with Zubimendi and his camp and Real Sociedad? Why are Arsenal also adding Joshua Kimmich to the lineup? And this is quite very easy. We are having a couple of departures this summer, and I know a few people might not actually want to believe it, but Partey and Jorginho will not be Arsenal players next season if all goes according to plan. With Jorginho, there is already a pre-approved agreement between the player and a Brazilian club. I think that's either Flamengo or Palmeiras, for Jorginho to join them in the summer. So Jorginho will not be an Arsenal player beyond this summer. To make matters worse, Thomas Partey is not getting a new deal at the moment, according to Sami Makbo actually, from the Daily Mail. He says at the moment Arsenal are not looking to give Thomas Partey a new deal, and it is highly likely that suitors from Barcelona and Juve in the summer could actually sign him on a free. So when you think about Partey leaving and you think about Jorginho leaving, Arsenal are not just looking to lose two of the very much important number 6 players in the squad, but also we are losing experience, we are losing pedigree, and we are losing winning mentality. So for you to replace that just by signing Martin Zubimendi, it is not idealistically possible, and it is not the right move to do. So there's a possibility that Arsenal sign Kimmich and then they sign Martin Zubimendi as well. Now, I think Zubimendi would come in as a replacement for Partey, and Kimmich wouldn't be a replacement for Partey. And the reason for that is Partey has been our go-to starting defensive midfielder. And if you look at such a role, you need someone who is powerful, energetic, and someone who's a little bit younger and has got the legs and fresh blood. I think that is Martin Zubimendi. If you're looking for a defensive midfielder for the next 5 years, 6 years to replace Thomas Partey, you're going for someone between the age of 22 to 28, and that is Martin Zubimendi. So I think Arsenal have already lined up this Martin Zubimendi deal as a way to prepare for the exit of Thomas Partey. I mean, we will discuss whether Zubimendi can replace Partey. Is he good enough? And all that. Should Partey even be left to go? In a video probably that will come out tomorrow. But I want to say this. If Partey is leaving and Zubimendi is coming in, that is a very good signing for the future. But when it comes to Jorginho, Arsenal fans seem to be ignoring what we might be losing. And that's what I want to explain. Why Kimmich would be a very good signing at a time when Arsenal are losing Jorginho. Now, with Kimmich, you're getting a whole package. But with Jorginho, you're also losing a whole package. I mean, with Jorginho, we're thinking about a player that is reliable always, and a player that has got that technical skills, a player that has got the experience, the pedigree, and a player that you can trust in difficult situations. I think we have seen that time out and time again. Mikel Arteta summoning Jorginho in games where I felt like this is not a Jorginho game. Jorginho might not have the legs, might not be able to run, and then he comes into that game and he performs at a high level. And I think that is what Arsenal need in Kimmich. Someone that can come in as a whole package, versatile even, to just replace Jorginho. Is a deal possible? Because there is PSG, there is Bayern, and also Arsenal are known at their record high in terms of attractiveness. We don't have a UEFA Champions League. We do not have a Premier League in the last 3, 4, 5 years. Therefore, big talent might actually want to evade us rather than come to us. And I know many Arsenal fans on this channel are going to get angry because how dare you say Arsenal is not attractive? But that's the truth. When you look at Arsenal and Manchester United, top talents would rather stay away from such clubs than join them. An example is the likes of Aurelien Tchouameni, Jude Bellingham, players that we really could have signed, but we didn't have the attractiveness to do so. So is it possible? I think the first priority of the player is to go to Bayern management and get a new deal. And although that looks unlikely, I won't be surprised if it happens. In most cases, what you'll have here is Bayern will give Joshua Kimmich a 2-year deal, and Kimmich would say, I want 3 years. I am 30, give me a 3-year deal with an option to extend. And that is what PSG are offering. So I'm going to say this. I think Kimmich, by the end of this week, will have decided to leave Bayern Munich. I would love to see him stay at Bayern because he's such a Bayern player. Like when I think about Bayern, I think about Kimmich. But I also think that Bayern have outgrown players like Kimmich and they're looking to draw younger blood. When it comes to PSG, Arsenal will have to fight them off. Even if the player decides to leave Bayern, we will have to compete with PSG favorably in order for us to get the deal done. The problem with PSG, that you all know, they are always willing to throw the money around. And that is not a small problem, that is a big problem. And with PSG, you've got, I think, a team that is so well organized, a project that is very well organized. And Kimmich would look at that project as, you know, a ripe one. I think he would look at the PSG project and say, I can win things here. It can be a new challenge in France, but also we can go and win the Champions League with PSG. The only reason why, as to why I think Arsenal could get him is if Mikel Arteta called him up, gave him his assurance of playing time, but also there is a second reason. I lied. The second reason is English Premier League football. Now we know when players play their football in Spain, in Germany, in Italy, they're always told there is a very good league called the Premier League. And towards their late 20s and early 30s, they want to come and experience the joy of the Premier League, the joy of playing in the Premier League. Now that is what Arsenal would offer Kimmich. We would give him a chance to play in the world's best league, according to PR and marketing. And also, he would get a chance to play for one of the traditional big teams in England. So I think Arsenal can fight off PSG if we are willing to give Kimmich a 3-year deal or a 4-year deal until 2029. Should we do that? In my opinion, yes. Because we're going to talk about what he brings. And also, if you give him a contract until 2029, I think that is the time frame in which Arsenal needs a player with such a winning mentality like Kimmich. So I think from 2025 to 2029, Arsenal should be looking to win the Premier League, the Champions League, and the FA Cup. And if you want to do that, you want players that have done it before, and you want players that are determined to go and do it again. That is Joshua Kimmich. So why are we obsessed with Kimmich? Like, what does he bring? If we got him, what would Arsenal gain? Obviously, we would pay him a higher wage, and he would raise the level of our midfield. Imagine having Kimmich, Rice, and Odegaard. That's already brilliant. But there is something that we are getting while signing Kimmich. Let's start off with experience, because that is something that Arsenal really lack as a team. When you look at our average age as a squad, many of the players are now walking into their prime, but we have few players that are actually experienced. And when I talk about experienced, I mean players that have been through thick and thin, players that have actually played at the top level, and players that have been there for a long time. That is what Jorginho is, and that is what Thomas Partey is as well, and the likes of Leandro Trossard. So if you're losing Jorginho and you're losing Partey, you're losing a huge ingredient of experience, and you might as well want to replace that. Kimmich would give us that. The second reason why I think Kimmich would be a very good signing is his winning mentality. And I've talked about it before. This Arsenal team always crumble when it matters. I mean, we have beaten PSV 7-1, but don't be surprised for us to go in the quarterfinals and we need one goal against Madrid or Atletico and it doesn't come. That is getting over the line. We still have a problem of the team still doesn't have the ability to get over the line. Now, for me, I want to say this. When it comes to winning mentality, there are not so many Arsenal players that have this. And I don't think we're going to get it by signing many players. We're going to actually get it by, winning ourselves. We need to find a way of getting over the line and winning so that our players know how it feels. Otherwise, if we want to sign players with winning mentality, we might have to, sell the whole squad. But Kimmich comes with that winning mentality, a player that knows what it means to play a quarterfinal, a semi-final, and possibly a final. The other thing Mikel Arteta will get is a versatile quality cover. And I think this is not anything to be debated about. He started out his career at right back, and by the time we all got to know about his popularity, he was into midfield under Pep Guardiola. Bayern have made him one of the best midfielders, but still, he can play at right back, and we have seen it a couple of times, him covering there for German. And I think with this Arsenal team this season, we have seen a problem that needs to be addressed quickly, and that is shortage of options. When Rice gets injured, Arsenal lack options. When Odegaard gets injured, we lack options. When Partey gets injured, we lack options. So if you get a player like Kimmich and couple him up with the likes of Merino, the likes of Trossard, in the end, you have very, very versatile players that can provide quality cover. I still remember Julian Timber in his first interview with Arsenal. He said, Arsenal.com, he said, I want to be like Kimmich. I want to learn from players like Kimmich that have shifted from right back, moved into midfield, and have proven to be as versatile as football can allow. And lastly, Arsenal could actually use some leadership. And I'm not saying that we don't have any pigments of leadership. I'm saying we need real leadership. A few people have actually been asking themselves, is Martin Odegaard really the player to lead Arsenal? Is he that leader? I don't know why Mikel Arteta made that decision, but he doesn't look that bad as a leader. But when you have players like Kimmich in the group, you have a player players can listen to, managers can listen to, a player that has been there. If, for example, if you're playing Madrid in in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, he has been there and he knows what it means to play a big team in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. He can lead these players and they will listen to him. So, Joshua Kimmich, let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. But in my opinion, if Arsenal can get the deal done, absolutely, I would love it. See you.